big question is there's a trap. A trap is happening, and we have two teams. We have a bull team and we have a bearish team. Now we got to see that one of these big teams are going to get trapped very soon. We have the people that, as in myself, that are still bullish. We think the bottom's in. We think the market from here is going to start a slow, gradual growth, starting off with Bitcoin over the next few months, leading into a bull run. Okay. And then you have the bears saying that we're going to go test those lows again. There's too much going on. We're getting many different attacks. We've got tons of FUD happening right now. And we're asking the question, should we get into fiat? I think that's the big one. If we break these levels, like, is it over? Should we come back later? Why are we fighting a war we can't win right now? And ultimately, what we are seeing is, firstly, we got volatility this week. Secondly, we're getting volume coming in. And now we know one of these teams are going to be trapped because you're basically sitting in a neutral zone. And the neutral zone is this 25 to 27,000. Because what you have below that is you have the bottom range, right? Which is this, the $15,000 to $20,000 mark. Above that, you have the $35,000 to $40,000 mark. Now we're in the neutral zone and a huge decision's about to come. So what we're starting to see now is a small little bit of bullish momentum, a little bit of bullish momentum to the upside. And we know that if we now attempt this, we have to break areas very quickly. Otherwise, this will be a trap. It will be a bull trap where we'll be short-lived and ultimately will be hammered down very quickly to what we've seen many times before. The only difference is this time is if Bitcoin loses on the weekly, this major area, the trap ends up getting really big. And if it comes to you looking at your portfolio, this could become a devastating move to the downside that possibly comes into depression, possibly even a lower low. And we need to be aware of that. Secondly, above that is if we hold this and we get through the major levels, this could possibly be yet again another huge opportunity. Now, in the show, I'm going to be speaking about the next huge move and how we're prepping it over the weekend. I still have a $100,000 long that I took yesterday on the show. I'm going to speak about the trades that I'm currently in because I have a $100,000 trade here and I have two other trades that I'm in at the moment of up to $20,000, $30,000 in positions. And I'm taking it on this little move. Now, may this be a huge entry where I'm literally buying the complete bottom and we have this strong rampage up within altcoins. We shall see. Or it will be a short-lived take profits as what we're supposed to be doing recently, taking quick profits and ultimately setting up for a huge, humongous short. Above that, I want to speak about these tokens. I want to speak about where we're at again when it comes to the weekly and a lot of these tokens. You know, you got one example here as in Algorand. You have to look at this chart over here. You're literally sitting with RSI on the weekly just dragging at the bottom, dragging at the bottom. And if you see over here, we're at such a bottom phase right now. Guys, will this devastating drop end at some point? Could this be like life-changing entries? Look at these percentages just back to these areas. You have 350%, you have nearly 700%, and to all-time highs, you're sitting at 2,000 to 3,000%. I want you again to go look at all of these RSIs on these tokens you're building for a long-term portfolio, and I want you to start making decisions on how the rich really make money, how uncomfortable they are when they make these investments, because this could be incredible. So I want to go through some higher frame tokens as well. I want to speak about some short-term trades, and I want us to track down Bitcoin because we know at any moment a huge move is coming. And if we lose the 200 weekly moving average, we got to prepare for a devastating drop within the market. And I want to speak about this token too. I know it's a long intro, but this is the token that worries me as well very much, BNB. Look at BNB now. Look at this. We are sitting on a huge support for BNB. This is Binance, guys. Now, if there ever is a huge drop in the market and something comes down, this is the token we need to pay attention to, because if we lose this trend here, firstly, there's a big drop, you know, a huge 30% drop to this level. If we lose that, guys, it's a FTX. And could this be something huge that happens to Binance? Will that create a low for Bitcoin? Will that bring everything down? Because if I look at that, it's showing a $40 BNB. So guys, there's a lot happening right now. So let's speak about it. Let's have a fantastic show. It is Friday, baby. No more wasting time. Bring the intro, Josh.
Click, click. Have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click, click. When the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Into the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click, click, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror, mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon tell us all. We got Sheldon on the chart, so we live and live. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click, click. Enter the sniper. Enter the sniper.
Banter fam, happy Friday. Happy Friday. I hope you've had a fantastic week so far. I think let's finish it off strong. Let's try to get some badass entries. Let's start prepping ourselves for what's to come. If you're brand new to the family, smash the subscribe button. What's up, Banter fam? Smash the like button. Comment below what you enjoyed from the show, what tokens you want me to talk about. A few things quickly. First thing, Banter Bubbles. Go get your Banter Bubbles. You can download on the App Store. You can get it on the web. Get this, fantastic. We have lots of features as chatting inside the bubble, seeing what's happening fundamentally when a token's moving. And there's even things coming as in trading off of the bubbles. And there's so much happening there. So go join Banter Bubbles. Secondly, above that, for the US guys, we have a new sponsor, CoinW. So have a look over here, CoinW. You're able to trade in the States. This is no financial advice at all, but you don't need a VPN. You don't need KYC either. You can trade derivatives. You can trade those. And the leverage is not capped. So be very careful out there, but just know that there is an option for you. I'm currently in a MATIC long. This is a trade that I took yesterday. And I'm in a Fantom long too. So I'm not too big. I was a little bit worried about MATIC because of this whole SEC thing. So I didn't go too crazy, but I got a $10,000 position open on MATIC. And like I said previously, I have a $100,000 position that is open on Fantom. And I'm going to explain to you why and how I plan on trading this and how this could end up being a humongous entry. A really, really big entry if the markets bounce strong from here. Any other thing? We're going to be speaking about PrimeXBT, guys. Open up. Get a link because we got some more trades coming that are outside of crypto. Okay, so I got someone that's coming on and giving us some trades. So make sure you have opened that as well. And Sniper School, last one. Sniper School, cohort 6 starting on the 13th of June. Next week's our first live event. Go below, register for Sniper School. Come join me, come join me, come join me. Things are amazing there. I'm loving it. It takes you to the next. Who here has 10K positions? I don't know. You tell me, Bob. Do you have a 10K position? If not, then let's build you up to get a 10K position. That's the way it works. Guys, I never had this money previously before in my life. Like now, at least I do, and I've built it up, and then that's what crypto brings to you. So let's quickly speak about where we're at with Bitcoin. At the moment, we have, you can see I have my two major lines over here. We had this little pullback. We first obviously had the little dump off to the early 25,000s. We bounced up. We reclaimed the 200 moving average. And now we're basically starting to range. We had the little pullback. It bounced on the 618. So therefore, including that, we should continue to the upside. So what I'm doing here at the moment is you can take these lines over here and you can just track this current wedge that we're forming. Okay, so you can see you basically have a top and a bottom line of this wedge. And you can see that this is the direction next that I see once this wedge is out that we're going to be going to. Okay, so if we break the top of this wedge over here, I think we're going to go to the bigger wedge. So if you go to the 4 hour after this, you jump, you're like, whoa, okay, there's the bigger wedge. We're going to go attempt the bigger wedge. Once we're through that, if we can get through that, we're then going to look to break the 28,500. We break through that, I think we're going to see a squeeze that can take us up to 30,000. And if we get through 31,000, is a huge squeeze that can take us up to 35 to the $40,000 mark. And let's speak about the downside. If we decide to break this to the downside, first target is we come back down to those lows, the $25,000 mark. We lose that zone, 24,000. We lose that zone. All of a sudden, you start looking at 21,000, and then there's another target of 17,000. So now I've spoken the crazy levels to the up and the downside. And what you're starting to get is you have this humongous wedge that is forming over here with a very important support and a very important resistance. And very soon, one of these are going to break. And ultimately, they're going to give us, for the next few weeks, a direction of where the market's actually going and when volume's coming in. Now, I want to remind you again, you've got to pay attention to volume at the moment, because look how volume is just tapering down. We're not seeing any crazy volume. And when you are going to see that volume is when one of these lines are broken. So for now, as things stand, I am short-term bullish and making sure that after we do have a slight bullish scenario play out, that if we don't break this area up here, which is the 27,700, this could be a really strong rejection point that could take us down to those lower levels. So for me, any trades that I'm taking, I'm focused on this scenario over here first, which just means I'm bullish for a few days and I'm taking profits. July is the pump month. Guys, it's crazy. Like it's really, really, really insane. Actually, let's jump into this topic quickly first before I zoom in again. Like, look at these tokens, you know, many good fundamental tokens. But ultimately, like, what is a bear market? A bear market is this crazy dump, right? It's like over a long period of time. But look at this. You know, you got good projects. They did really well in the bull markets, you know, that have built a lot. They still have incredibly good market caps. And look at where they at, guys. Look at this. Like, it's insane. And it's like, if you're ever going to make money in crypto, like, this has got to be it, right? It's got to be the areas of so uncomfortable that something is literally sitting 90% down from where it's been previously before. Like, how else do you make money in crypto? Buying a lot later? And that's the thing. And the reason why we diversify and we split up, because maybe one or two projects don't do well. But ultimately, if you got 3 projects and you get into 3 of these projects and one of them do a 20x, 30x, it was all worth it. You know, if you took $100, $100, 2 of them did okay, maybe they even went to 0, but one does a 20x, you're still sitting on $2,000 from your $300. And that's the big thing. So I just want to remind you again, even though we haven't had the alt season we wanted just yet, your RSIs are getting to the bottom on the weekly again. And if you look at the last times, you know, you just got to keep trading very simple. That your RSIs can stay at the bottom for a little while. I get it. It doesn't always give you the exact bottom, but you got to remember the phase that you're in at the moment. And previously we did see RSI at the bottom, and we saw this sitting at 1.3. All of a sudden, after that, it was at 2.7. It's 100% just to this little move over here. Yeah. Yet again, we're coming down to that bottom range again. RSI is at the bottom. Now, are you going to take advantage? Do you think from here we're just going to lose and everything's just going to go crazy down, which is a possibility? Definitely, definitely. But for me, I look at this and I'm just like, again, when this bull market comes, I will be so angry with myself if I didn't take a little bit of money and just bought at these levels. I would just beat myself up because it's like it's DCA. But I also believe in DCAing into multiple projects. So you obviously got NEAR, which that's crazy on the weekly. Then you've got one like ALGO that's still sitting at $1 billion market cap now. You have the RSI completely tapering down at the bottom now and hovering there. Last time we were at the bottom over here, it was literally sitting at 15 cents. It then went up to 30 cents, 100%. Okay, now we're even lower than that point over there, and we're coming to attempt these lows over here. Now this area, March 2020, before the bull market. Now the guys that bought that time then, you know, would have bought in these areas, and what did it literally do? Let's actually have a look there quick. From here, 10x, 15x, crazy. Now we're back at those levels. So again, go do your research on ALGO, go have a look, go see fundamentally you like it. And this RSI is at the bottom over here. And, you know, if you ever want opportunity in crypto, I don't see how this is not one. Back to the top over here, 300%, 600%, and 1,000. So again, guys, I want you to zoom out and just look at your long-term portfolio. Look at that, prep, and make some decisions. I don't care if you spent $1,000 in the bull market. All of this. Let's say you did buy over here, and I just want to bring this up again. It's important. Let's say you bought over here, or you bought over here in the bull market. You don't want to have to wait for 2 years for this to go back to be even, to be even with your investment. You know, anything that you add in over here will dramatically bring your entry price down. And by the time price goes back up to these levels, you want to be in profit. You don't want to have 2 years of waiting of recovery just to be break even. I made my money back after 2 years of surviving the bear market. So just pay attention to that. Now, big token I want to speak about is BNB, because what it's starting to show now is we know that the attacks are happening on Binance. We know all the stuff that's happening in the US at the moment and all of that. And it is creating concern. And what it's starting to do is it's starting to create panic within BNB. Now, this is I wouldn't say it's a big problem. I think it's a really good thing for the future of crypto, because you had one titan that was running everything. And I think it is good that it's going to start to get diversified. But it also comes into the topic of, if this does get really hurt now, how does this not affect the whole crypto market? How does this not affect Bitcoin to come down really hard? So short time frame, it can create some devastating moves to the downside. Ultimately, for the longer term of crypto, it is a good thing. But we do have to pay attention to this. So you literally have BNB sitting on support trend line right now. And where it bounced is exactly the areas over there. Now, I wouldn't just jump into BNB now. I wouldn't. I do know that there's another flag. So it means that if I want BNB and it survives, it shows you very clearly over here it's going to take time. It's going to take time if it does. Now, if things start to survive, start to slow down, it can look at something like this. And only from September, October, can we actually see this stuff slowing down and BNB start gaining strength again. So it gives a little bit of an idea that this will take a bit of time to recover. We just want to make sure that there's not too much damage done before it does. Because if it starts to lose these levels, you can start looking at it get down here. And this is where it makes me very nervous, because I actually want to bring up what's the correct one to get the FTT on? Which is the best exchange? Let's see if we can get it on KuCoin. I just want to show you guys. This is the big thing just to focus on. I don't know if this is the right one. I just want to get a little bit more data. I just want to show you guys, because it's very important, right? It's like, holy shit, if one of the big titans are going to come down, we've got to understand how devastating this could actually be. So there we go. So what you basically had, it looks pretty similar, is you had this major area, okay, over here, like a huge support, okay? And ultimately what you had before that was you had a trend, okay? So if we take this over there, we put the trend. And we knew, okay, it's important. If we start to lose this trend, we start going down to these areas. And if we break these areas, you're going all the way down to the bottom. So you look at this chart and you're like, whoa, like that's a very important support. Why? Because if we lose this level, look how fast we can move to the bottom range. So what does this mean? It means a huge event. It means something really happens. And what did it turn out to be? The whole collapse of FTX, and all of this was Sam Bankman-Fried. Now you take this chart and you start to look at it over here, and you're like, whoa, look at that gap over there. So if we lose this low over here, something huge happens. Something huge happens. Maybe with CZ. Really hope not. I do believe he's a good guy. That's my feeling. I suppose I thought Sam was also a good guy at that point. But ultimately, we got to be aware of that. And at least by us being aware with that, to know that this could be one thing that can bring Bitcoin back to the lows. I think it could. If there's a drop in Binance and something big happens and we lose this area over here, you're basically looking at these zones of an 80% crash. No, from there. Not even from here. If we go from here now, you're looking at 85 to a 90% crash. The only sad thing about it is it's a very fast one. It's that. If that happens, that's something with CZ, that's something with that. So we got to keep that in the back of our heads, guys, is something is happening with Binance now, and we do want to see this start to recover. As soon as we start losing these zones, there is a little bit more hope, but if we lose that area, it basically just puts you into the mindset that maybe if things really go bad here, there could be a low of Bitcoin. Maybe that 10, 12, maybe it does make sense now that it could come at any point. But until then, we can't think like that. Until then, but we have it in the back of our mind. Okay, the whole market will go to shit, but I think it will recover quickly. We also thought when FTX collapses, it's all going to be down. Guys, Bitcoin was 16K. It's back at 2026 now. Like it recovered. It recovered and it was good for crypto. So just pay attention to that. And again, just go through your long term. Look at Solana. RSIs, this one's still sitting okay-ish. It says maybe Solana around the 14 to 16 is the better buy. But again, just pay attention. Pay attention to where we're at, and just go to Google yet again and go look at the market cycle. They all do this. Go sideways and then they recover. And even if 30% of your tokens play this out, you're going to make a lot of money. You don't need all your tokens to do it, guys. You just need a few. Pick the best, get the best, and go through. So very important, guys. Pay attention to that. Quickly back on Bitcoin over there. There we go. We have the weekly support at the moment. RSI is not fully reset now. That's the only thing. But we don't want to lose this horizontal level now. We really don't. Otherwise, it starts its acceleration. So things are okay for now, guys. but we do need to prep that things can change very quickly. And if something happens with Binance, we got to be prepared for it. So now let's zoom back in and let's get in. So put this wedge over here on the 1 hour. If we break to the downside, there's some great short opportunities for you. I'll close my longs. I'll get stopped on my longs and I'll look at taking some shorts. If we break to the upside, I'm looking at taking some longs because we may end up breaking that major wedge. And this major wedge is this area over here. If we get through these zones and this decides to rocket through to 31,000, I got huge entries. I got fantastic entries at the moment, which is good. And I'm actually going to do the method that I spoke about yesterday, where I'm building now. If it goes up and it breaks here, I'm going to take all those profits and make the position even bigger. And I'm going to use these 3 steps. So I'm going to use this step here to build, this step here to build, and I'm going to TP on the last one for these trades. And ultimately, off of my $100,000 position, I'm hoping to get the play of around $50,000 profit on that. So I just want to keep trading. I'm happy to be trading again. I decided that I've been trading small accounts with you guys. I think I'm going to start putting in some big money again and start trading with some big capital for these things, so that you can see what it actually does and what it starts to become. And you're going to be quite excited what I do with those actual profits. Now, let's quickly jump into these possible trades that we have over here. So I want to show you guys the Fantom trade quickly so that if this becomes a nice opportunity for you to trade today. Yesterday, I gave you guys the entries. The entries were there. But now I want to quickly give you guys new possible entries. So what you have over here, let's quickly erase this so I can reset it up for you. That was yesterday's trades, is you have this wedge forming over here. So if we start to in the next 1 hour, Fantom is 29 cents. 29 cents. It's crazy, you know. And if this thing just goes back, if you just look at the short time frames here, look at this wedge. This just goes back over there. You're looking at a 20%, which is huge for my positions. But look at this whole leg down. If this just decides to go test the major trend line, which is this one over here, that's the major one. From here, and you look at that to there, that's a huge trade. Big trade. So zoom in. So I think Fantom's going to be one of the best ones. I think it's going to drop hard as like very hard if it loses the bottom trend, and I think it's going to pump really hard if it breaks the top. So the way I would trade this is if we, as soon as we have an hour close above this trend, okay, I'd basically take the trade. I'll take my little short, my long position tool. I'll put my stop loss under this low over here, which is around about 1 to 2%, and I'd look to TP around these areas of 10%, just outside of that trend. So that's my current plan with this trade that I'm in right now. As you can see, I'm in a $100,000 position over here. I saw that this one was waking up pretty quickly, was the MATIC. I actually want to have a look because I gave MATIC yesterday and there might still be a trade on MATIC. Let's have a look at MATIC. Oh, there's the entry. Okay, if it does come down, I will give this trade for you guys. I think MATIC as well got unfair. This whole thing with SEC is just smacking these coins way too hard. But it's always equaled huge opportunities previously in the past, right? Whenever these coins get smashed to the downside. Because even MATIC, if we had to look at MATIC quickly on the weekly, this is actually one coin that's done really well. Yeah. But it's approaching the 200 weekly moving average. So MATIC, but you know what scares me with these tokens? They all have this bottom here, bro. Yeah. And if they lose them, it's like, it's very important. Like, are they attacking crypto that hard? Do you think there is a play that can actually play out there? So we have MATIC over there. The next one that we gave yesterday as well was THETA. So these are 3 that I'm trading for the weekend, guys. These are ones that I'm still trading. I'm not afraid right now to trade. I know there's huge volatility coming. Here is the trade that we gave yesterday. So we're a little bit out of buy zone now, but what you might have is an opportunity of another hour breakout over there. We can enter trade and put your stops below. But I'm looking at this rally up to the upside over here of up to 10%. So you see, I'm taking smaller TPs at the moment because a lot of these coins are doing these wedges. You see these long wedges over here. So I'm just trading the wedge. I'm not saying that they're breaking out yet. I'm just trading when it hits the bottom, goes to top, goes to bottom, goes to top, goes to bottom, goes to top, goes to bottom, goes to top. And that's it. So it's just teaching you right now, whenever you're making any sort of profits, just take them. Very important to just take the profits until we have really broken the higher level and these sort of areas. Let's quickly have a look at Ethereum. So Ethereum, looking at possibly breaking this little short-term resistance over here, but basically sitting in the middle of nowhere right now. So where you're going to see a big move from Ethereum is when it's the break of one of these 2 major levels over here. So basically, if I have a look here, you got this line here, and you have this line over here. And that's when you're going to start to see huge volatility when it comes within Ethereum. So just put this wedge in, be a little bit patient. But one of these lines break is when you're going to start to get acceleration. If we do break the top line, we're going to go tempt the highs. If not, the 2425 areas. We've dropped the bottom line, looking at coming and testing the 1700. And obviously, if we lose that line, you could start be looking at $1,000, maybe $1,200 Ethereum again, which you can look at that and see if that's a opportunity or disaster. You know, it's when the bull market comes, you can't add anything much anymore. One thing I do like seeing here, just have a look, is it looks like Sol got smacked, obviously. But if you look at Sol to ETH, it looks like we're going to have some support from ETH and support from Bitcoin to Solana. So hopefully that will create a good short-term bounce over there. Let's start to see some of the other ones like Atom. This coin, they got smashed, bro. This whole SEC thing is like it's creating. And that's a big thing. So all that I'm saying, guys, is it might get uncomfortable in the next week or two, and we might have to make some big decisions, because if BNB starts to lose that level and Bitcoin starts to lose the 200 weekly, like we got to maybe prep for flipping devastation. And maybe I will support the US dollar a little bit. maybe. That'll be a big one. I see we got Dylan here quickly. He said we have some sort of trade. He said we got a trade. Now, guys, if you have a look below, we have PrimeXBT as one of the sponsors. And Dylan's saying that there's possibly some trades outside of crypto, but still using crypto. Now, remember, sorry. Now, remember, guys, the PrimeXBT.
No.
What's up, bro? That BNB chart, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
That BNB chart's a little bit scary. He's sending us to 40. I wanted to show
what you got, bro?
I'm looking at silver, so I'm playing around with Prime. Can you hear me okay there, bro?
We can hear you. It's just the echo.
Oh, wait. Okay. Let me try and do something with my mic.
I'm just going to mute myself and you can go.
Okay, cool. So I'm looking at silver at the moment. This is a daily chart on silver, so I'm looking at a leverage trade on Prime currently. Silver was interesting to me yesterday. I saw we had quite a big move over here. You can check the size of that candle. And it's pumped into this sort of resistance area here. So potential pullback for me on silver, and I'm trying to look at something on this trend up here. Let's see where the fib is. So I'm looking at a possible silver long at a pullback here. If we zoom in to the 1 hour on silver, I've got a little channel forming up here. Over there. So we're going to look for, you know, maybe some kind of pullback at the top of this channel, and then that should start this little move back. And then a potential long. I'm going to be doing it on Prime. So it's quite a nice format. It's not really like what we used to with the exchanges that we're currently trading on. But it's giving us options to trade CFDs. It's giving us options to trade crypto. We can trade Forex as well. So you can see there's a nice little drop down menu here. You can trade everything. You get very good leverage. So when I'm going to trade silver, I'm going to look for silver in this menu over here. And I'm going to click my buy, and I will just go limit order. So when it gets to my zone, I will look for my area, and then I'll plug in my order. So, you know, whatever that is on my pullback zone, we'll need to confirm. Then I'm going to add a stop loss over here. And the nice thing about this format that they're giving us is we can preset our entire trade, and then it also tells us our projected loss. So for example, if I want to buy 1,000 silver, you can see over here my margin impact. It tells me how much margin it's going to use, and then I'll put in my stop, whatever it may be. This isn't my stop, but when we plan it on the chart properly, we'll fill that in, and then it tells you your loss, and then you can send your order and lock in your trade. So everything's preset, and then you can sleep comfortably. You don't have to panic. You've got your stops in place. You can set your TP. So yeah, very nice platform. I'm just
appreciate
waiting for
it,
a decent
bro.
entry. Yeah.
Cool.
Sweet,
Thank
man.
you. So we'll obviously sorry, it's just a bit echoey there. We'll obviously set that trade up there. So what are we trying to say, guys? What are we trying to say? if crypto is not giving us what we need and it gets really bad, we're going to trade gold and silver. With crypto, we're still going to trade. We're still going to trade. So I see there's a small push here. Hopefully I can get this Fantom position going. So guys, again, focus on the long-term part of your portfolio today. Start looking at things as ALGO, as in Solana, as in AVAX, all these things on the weekly. Start making a decision with the higher time frames. On the shorter time frame trades, put this wedge in here on the hour. And I do think you're going to have some fun this weekend. I think volume's coming into the market. I think we're going to start getting a lot more of a volatile market that you can take advantage of. So like I said, I think in the next week to 2 weeks, we're going to see what trap this is, if it's a bull or bear trap. Below 25,000, we're going down hard, and it may be BNB, it may be something else. Above the 27,500, we're going up hard. So at least we know the direction of how we can prep ourselves throughout those times. For now, I would just trade some smaller time frames. Take profits quick, take some trades. The ones that I am in is MATIC, THETA, and Fantom. And once that we go, we build, we never stop, and we continue. Much love to you all. I am doing a show tomorrow, so tune in tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. Trade safe, make lots of money, put your stop loss in, and manage your risk. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Much love, Banter.